you join me in a word of prayer? Gracious Creator, you have brought us to a moment, this long expected moment in Advent. Be with us as we journey through this season, being mindful of the things that have come before this time and the unexpected changes that come after this time. Amen. But about that day, an hour no one knows, neither the angels of heaven nor the Son, but only the Father. For as the days of Noah were, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. For as in those days before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day Noah entered the ark. And they knew nothing until the flood came and swept them all away. So too will be the coming of the Son of Man. Then two will be in a field, one will be taken and one will be left. Two women will be grinding meal together, one will be taken and one will be left. Keep awake, therefore, for you do not know on what day your Lord is coming. But understand this. If the owner of the house had known in what part of the night the thief was coming, he would have stayed awake and would not have let his house been broken into. Therefore, you must also be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an unexpected hour. In this passage from Matthew, we see an outline. We see the days before Noah, where things are normal. There is eating and drinking. We all do those things normally. There is marrying and the grinding of flour. All things we come to expect in the normal routine of what happens in our life. And then, bam, there's this unexpected change. There's an ark and the flood, and things that had been the way they had always been were not the way they were going to be from then on. Be ready, Jesus is saying. Unexpected change is coming. It is necessary, you might be able to say, to be watchful of what has been and to be watchful for those things that will be, those changes that we may not expect in the moment. So what does that mean? What does that mean? That's a lot of this. I don't know what that means. The sentiment actually reminds me a little bit of clay. I did bring clay with me today to church. Did you bring your clay? Did you bring your clay? It reminds me a bit of clay, because in these days before Noah, you see that this clay, no matter how much I play with it or mess with it, right, it's still clay. You still know this is clay. And I can bend it, or tear off pieces from it. We have 2 pieces of clay now. But we still see that the structure of this is the same. No matter what you do to this, it is steadfast. And God says that stability, this unchangingness, is a part of the way the world is. It is a part of our existence. However, we are not just a people of tradition, right? We've got a little more going on here. It is necessary for us then to watch for the changes that will come, like in this clay. It reminds me a bit also of, in my own context at ECM, I see this in life, this thinking about tradition, thinking about what we have been, and thinking about these unexpected changes that come. As new people come, as new things happen, we have things that are unexpected, that are part of this existence. In the past, how many of you have done ECM things? Any hands? We got a couple. Don't be shy. Oh, yay. It's so nice to see you all here. I know it's early, it's hard to raise hands, it's no big deal. For those of you that have kept it in your heart, that's okay too. Totally welcome. So we have things that we've done that have been a part of our tradition. We've been around for almost 60 years now. Woohoo! I'm really excited about that. That's a long time to be around for campus ministry. We are a community and a place that is committed to thinking about the ways that students live and move in the world, the ways that they connect to their faith and they connect to each other. This is a part of who we have been and who we continue to be. But the way that we do that, it looks a little different than it used to 60 years ago. I don't know if we had a couple in another congregation that had been there when they first started. Those are some cool stories. So if you have any cool stories like that, I'd love to hear them. I think those are really exciting. Let me give you an example. We used to have a Sunday evening meal. Did anyone cook for that ever? Yes, we got a couple. We got some nods. Yes. Oh, thank you. See, there you guys are all involved in ECM. So we used to have this meal on Sunday nights. It was a time that students gathered, had conversations about all myriad of things. I remember looking through some of our archives and seeing some topics on Martin Luther King, and I remember seeing there was something on a hurricane at one point. I just go through archives because that's fun for me. And those were times that students got together and thought about things. And we are thankful for that time that we had together on Sunday evenings. And we still gather sometimes, but that has changed. That has changed. We don't gather in the same way on Sundays. Students have decided that they're interested in doing more around sustainability on Friday afternoons for our real food lunch. We actually have been doing that for 10 years, which is a long time to do a meal too, for any of you who have been involved in meal planning. But as a part of this new imagining, this change, this unexpected things that come, we are actually involved in partnering with farmers in the community. And this year, almost all of our food and all of our meals were provided from local grown produce. That's pretty exciting. We fed anywhere between 50 to 100 people a week, and they were eating food that was grown right here in their backyards. And that was because we listened to what was happening in the context of tradition, the context of where we had been, that we were committed to feeding people and to eating together. But we were also committed to looking at the ways that we move and change, not unlike this clay. Not unlike this clay. So sometimes we see new people come to our communities. I have so many colors of clay you don't even know. Huh? Someone comes and says, hey, I love this idea. I like that you're meeting and gathering, but let's do something. Let's think about it this way. So then our clay, still clay, hasn't changed, still clay, changes just a little bit, right? Just get a little different shade of what things were. Someone else comes along and says, hey, I have this gift I'd like to offer, because I'm part of this community. I'm part of this unexpected change that you may not see coming. And then you add these new things. Still clay, maybe not very pretty clay. I'm not an artist, so don't, you know what I mean, just move with me through this. In this way, we still continue to have something that has been, something that is allowed, though, to have change impact the way that it is moving. I bet you guys are familiar with that a little bit. I hear you're looking for a new minister. That's an adventure, isn't it? It's an adventure, isn't it? I know that being involved in ministerial things in the past, looking for new leaders, that can be both something where you're asking yourselves, what have we done that we liked? What have we done? Where have we been? What are the things, what are the before Noah times? But I also hope that we're asking ourselves, where do we want to be? How will this person, how will these new people impact where we're at? How will these unexpected changes move us and help us grow, allow us to grow in exciting new ways? And you say, now, Christian, you make it sound like all this changing thing is good. I'm not just saying it, people. It's also in the passage, right? Unexpected change, similar to this Advent season, this birth of a new child, this coming of the Son of Man, that is something to celebrate. That is something to celebrate. So even as we move in these clay-like ways, holding on to who we are, looking forward to where we want to go, we have opportunity to celebrate those transitions and moments in our lives. And this is how it is with church. We are a people of tradition, but we are also watchful. We are also watchful for those unexpected things. It often helps me visualize what I'm trying to say by singing a song. And I think we sang this song actually earlier this morning. I did not coordinate this, but it worked well. Jesus works in mysterious ways, amen. So I want you to listen. I want you to listen for the ways that this song may be what you expect, may be a part of the ways that you have heard and experienced this song. And I want you to also listen for the ways that it might be a little different. And it is my prayer that we think intentionally about where we have been and where we want to be, just like Jesus asks us in this season of Advent. Come, thou long expected Jesus, born to set thy people free from our fears of change. Release us, let us be renewed in thee. We have watched for this moment, hope of all our anxious hearts. In our steadfast walk we hear you. Make us new in watchfulness. Amen. Will you please join me in standing to sing "Lift Up Your Hearts, Ye Mighty Gates," hymn number 93.